you out of your minds?
Wait, where's the suit?
Time to be powerful.
That's just nonsense. It's nonsense.
Boo!
Are you out of your minds?
I'm bulletproof, bitches! Sorry. I have no idea what this button does.
Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
We had the season 2 premiere of Batwoman, and it was just as terrible as you might expect. Now, I want to say this first and foremost, okay? If you genuinely enjoy any show really in the Arrowverse, because they all kind of suffer from similar things, don't let this video ruin that, take that away from you. As I've always said, when I talk about modern media, I like Paul Blart Mall Cop. Okay, so if you like Batwoman and you like my channel too, don't let me ruin the show for you, okay? Who am I to say what, you want to watch? That said, this show has easily the worst writing I've ever seen. Now, in season 2, we know now that Javicia Leslie, I think that's how it's pronounced, has taken over for Ruby Rose. She jumped off this sinking ship with a quickness. And she'll probably never say why, but I'm certain that it's the writing. There's just no way anyone chooses to act in this particular scenario. She does good. She does good. She can emote well. In a way, in some ways, she's like more, how do I say? In some ways, she's just better than Ruby Rose was, and better than Kate Kane. But let me tell you just how lazy, let me just lay out just how lazy this writing is. In the first 30 seconds of the show, the writers address the missing Kate Kane. How do they do so? With a plane crash. Fine. You had to address it, right? I actually don't have any problem at all with that. They even back into saying, like, later in the episode, there's an insinuation that plane was taken down on purpose by one of Alice's minions, or I forget exactly who it was, but that's not important. I don't have any problem with how they got rid of Kate Kane. They had to. They won't actually end her character because apparently she's, because she's gay and they don't want to have this bury your gays trope thing or whatever. So we'll just spend the whole season everyone knowing that Ruby Rose is not coming back, but the show never addressing it, which is stupid. But how does the new Batwoman become Batwoman? Because that should be an interesting tale, right? There should be something to that. You'd think there'd be some build up, or there'd be, some backstory. Well, here's how it happens. She's sleeping in her van, literally down by the river. The plane crashes 10 feet in front of her. She walks into the wreckage, saves one person randomly. And then the Batsuit is just laying on the ground, and she picks it up. Now she's Batwoman. I'm not kidding. That is her entire journey. She picks up the suit out of the wreckage, goes home, or goes back to her van or some club or whatever, puts it on, and decides, hey, I'm Batwoman now. Now, they did backfill a little of that later, where she does have, and this was creative, I thought. They backfilled a historical reason why she might want to go after the show's villain, and gives it an emotional twist that is okay. Later in the episode, I think the primary problem with really any of these shows in the Arrowverse, but in particular Batwoman, is the writers try to cram so much into the show, and there's really no time to develop anything. It's like you're watching, it's like thing, end of the episode. Nothing's fleshed out, things just happen, and I think they do this so you don't have time to question anything. Later in the episode, a character comes in with the face of Bruce Wayne. It's not, it's actually not Bruce Wayne. I think the character's name is Hush or something like that. I forget. And here's a perfect example. Dude's in the Batcave, right? And he's like looking for, I think, the Batmobile. And he just picks up like the sticky bomb weapon, fires it into the wall, pew, blows a hole, pew, there's the Batmobile. Like, zero effort, just he doesn't know where it is. He's just firing these things against the wall, literally throwing things against the wall to see what sticks. And they reveal what is very plainly what I think is a Chevrolet C7 Corvette with like a hood adjustment. Now, to be fair, you're talking about a relatively low budget. It's not like they're going to have a, $750,000 Batmobile, customized and all that. My thing is just don't do the Batmobile. If you can't do it right, just don't do it. I mean, this thing is hilarious. It's literally just a Corvette. Why didn't they just spray paint a bat on it? It's just bad. Just don't do the Batmobile. Now, I know that some fans in season 1 were clamoring for it, but just don't. If you can't do it right, just don't. You don't need to do it. And then some of the other hilarity. Let me give you an example of some of the writing. Here we have even CNN. Batwoman gets new lead, but season 2 looks like the same flawed show. Well, yeah, because it's the same garbage writers. Here's even Hollywood Reporter, which is literally a shill site for Hollywood. This is what they said about it. Kate Kane, or Ruby Rose, is a white Patricia Harris with the best combat survivalist training money could buy. There's very little sense of humor that goes along with it. Leslie's Ryan Wilder is a hard-scrabble black orphan trampled by the foster system to prison pipeline, but savvy enough to take advantage of the windfalls that come her way. Kate is cushioned by wealth, Blackwater-like private law enforcement corporation owned by her father, and Ryan is an impoverished victim framed by the corrupt mercenaries. So far, though, for even goofy moments showcasing Ryan's fumbles in the batsuit, the writing plummets into clunky social commentary that reads far more profoundly on paper than it sounds when monologued. Here's the most cringe line of the show. Quote, this is Batwoman. Trust me, I know I'm not a symbol. Ryan snaps back at Kate's unwelcoming associates, Mary and Luke, in a winking nod to the current cultural discourse surrounding calls for wider racial representation on TV, yet immediately after declaring herself a sui generis alternative, she follows up with a cumbersome stats-laden speech that knocks all her gallantry to the ground. Quote, because I'm a number, I'm the 327th baby of a black woman who died during childbirth that year. I'm a $20 a day check to a group home. I'm inmate number 40757, 18 months for a crime I didn't commit. But I can live with those numbers because the mama who adopted me, I was her number one. But it turns out she's just one of 250,000 in the country who's seen no justice. If that's not literal symbolism, I don't know what is. Still, Leslie can't emote while spouting data. Rose's face barely cracked while ending her own sister in the first season. Ryan literally lives in a van down by the river. you know, this says the first season of Batwoman, while wildly uneven, often floored me thanks to powerhouse storyline that pitted noble Kate against her own deranged twin sister, Beth, or Alice, a woman who, you know, I won't go into every detail. The reviews are not great. We can see season 1, 81 critic score, 24 average audience score. Let's look at the second season. 83 critic score, so a little higher, but that's only with 6 reviews, and you know that's likely to fluctuate. Yep, 34% viewer score. How did it fare? Did anybody tune in? Well, the answer is no. The new Batwoman drew just 663,000 viewers, and to put that in perspective, I get more viewers than that most days, except in January. Most days, I get more viewers than that. And I'm just a dude in my basement. And a 0.1 rating. Down from both its season 1 average, which was 995,000, and its freshman finale, 740,000. Marking it the 3rd smallest audience to date, and matching its demo low TV Line readers. The TV Line readers gave the soft reboot an average grade of a C+. C+. Now, there is a hilarious scene where she literally punches the face off somebody, which is funny, you know, because she has superpowers now, and she just completely dispatches a full-grown man like he's made of paper. Now, again, that isn't to say there aren't strong women out there. I mean, certainly one could turn on the UFC and see a lot of strong women that could easily take care of a dude. It's not like she was punching him across the screen, so it wasn't that like comedic, but there was still so many holes. She puts on the suit. Let me give you a perfect example, a microcosm of the writing on this show, why they jump around from spot to spot, okay? And they expect you not to pick at it. So she puts the suit on for the first time ever, somehow knows how to use the battery or her little grappling tool, okay? But then maybe she did minutes of training off screen that we didn't see. Then she goes after 2 dudes who are armed with no knowledge that the suit is actually bulletproof. So the show should have ended like by her own lot. She sees these 2 guys who are armed and takes about 10 rounds. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm bulletproof." I mean, she would have just been dead. Like she had no idea that the suit was bulletproof. I mean, I don't know how people tune into this. But they're clearly not that interested. You know, you would think that we would see an uptick, just like when we saw with like season 2 of the Doctor Who, or season 2. When they brought in the female doctor, it was a big hubbub and they had huge ratings. They brought in Javicia and no one cared. Now, again, she's a fine actress. I thought she did pretty well. But you see here, opening up to just 663,000 viewers, down 64%. This is a show, by the way, that premiered last year with 1.86 million viewers. So they've still lost almost 60%, 70% of their entire viewership. And they lost another 20% since the season finale. Were these people Ruby Rose diehards? That seems unlikely. It's going to be interesting to see if this show can gather any strength. But the number one thing that continues to plague it and will continue to plague it is the amateurish writing written by people more interested in social commentary than putting together a good show. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.